Okay, so Google just dropped what might be one of the biggest AI releases we've seen since GPT-4. It's called Gemini 3 Pro, and the hype around it, well, it's absolutely deafening.
The people who got their hands on it early, developers, testers, they are losing their minds. Some are saying this isn't just an update, it's a whole new ballgame. Honestly, we haven't seen a capability jump this big in almost 2 years.
But you know how it goes. With this much hype, you gotta ask, is it for real? Is this thing truly the new king of AI? Or is there a catch? So in this explainer, we're gonna break it all down. The incredible performance, the raw power, and yeah, some of the very, very big problems. All right, first things first, we have to look at the hard data. Let's dive into the world of AI benchmarks and see how Gemini 3 Pro actually stacks up.
And look, these aren't your average pop quizzes. These tests are brutal. They're specifically designed by experts to find an AI's breaking point. And this, right here, is where that hype train really gets going. Let's start with a real monster of a test, ARC AGI-2. This thing is all about abstract visual puzzles. It's the kind of stuff AI is usually terrible at because it can't just memorize the answer from the internet. It actually has to think. And the results, wow, they are just huge. Gemini 3 Pro scored over 31%. That's nearly double its closest competitor. You have to understand, progress on this specific test has been painfully slow. So this isn't just a step forward, it's like it completely smashed through a wall that we thought would be standing for a lot longer.
And it's not a one-trick pony either. We're seeing this across the board. On Humanities Last Exam, which is just as intense as it sounds, it's ahead. On GPQA Diamond, which is full of grad-level science and math questions, yep, it takes the lead there too. These numbers are, to be honest, pretty staggering. But let's be real. Benchmarks can feel a little abstract, right? So let's talk about how all this performance actually translates into real-world stuff that you and I can see and understand.
This is the crucial question, isn't it? Do these high scores actually mean anything? Is it really going to be better at writing code, or coming up with a creative idea, or just understanding a visual prompt?
Okay, you have to see this. This Minecraft controller test is just a fantastic example. When you ask Gemini 3 Pro to generate a controller, you get something that actually looks like a controller. It's got joysticks, a grip, the whole deal. Its competitor? Well, it made a brick. The gap in understanding 3D space it's just hilarious. And it's not just visuals. Its creative writing skills are apparently top-notch. It manages to avoid that generic, formulaic style that a lot of us call AI slop. Instead, it produces text that feels genuinely human. In fact, one reviewer said the writing was so good, he had to go check to make sure it wasn't just copying from an actual book. So, it's smarter, it's more creative, and it's crushing all the tests. It sounds absolutely perfect, right? Well, this is where the story takes a very sharp and very expensive turn. Because all of this incredible intelligence, it isn't free. In fact, it comes with a price tag that might make it completely impractical for a whole lot of people and businesses.
And the whole story really comes down to this number, $1,200. That's how much it costs to run a single evaluation on one of these intelligence benchmarks, a single run.
Now, to put that in perspective for you, running the exact same benchmark on its main competitor costs just under $100. So you're looking at a 12 times increase in cost. That is just staggering.
And the crazy thing is, it's not just a higher price tag. The model itself is incredibly inefficient. It uses a massive number of what are called tokens. Think of them as the words or pieces of words the AI thinks with to get anything done. People are calling it one of the most token-hungry models they've ever seen. And the problems don't stop with the price. For all of its intelligence, it's also remarkably unreliable. I mean, look at this. Its hallucination rate, that's what it just makes stuff up, is no better than older models. It apparently ignores instructions all the time, gets stuck in bizarre loops, and you basically have to babysit it to get a task done. One user said it got stuck for nearly an hour on just one simple coding step. An hour.
So when you put it all together, the incredible power and the frustrating flaws, what's the final verdict on Gemini 3 Pro? Where does that leave us?
I think this quote from Theo over at T3.G just captures it perfectly. In one moment, it'll solve a problem better than any AI you've ever seen. And in the next moment, it gets stuck in a way that just feels bafflingly dumb. The best and the worst. Here's another great analogy from Matt Schumer. He said, it's like a brilliant but easily distracted senior engineer. You can give them a really hard problem, and they'll solve it. But when they say, got it done, you absolutely have to go and double-check their work.
So, let's just boil it all down. The pros are undeniable. You get state-of-the-art intelligence, it's incredible with visual tasks, and it's an amazing problem solver. But the cons are just as stark. It is wildly expensive, it's inefficient, and you have to constantly babysit it. It's a true double-edged sword.
And that really leaves us with a fascinating question for the entire industry. What do we value more? Do we want a raw, unruly genius that's unpredictable and costs a fortune? Or do we prefer a slightly less brilliant tool that is consistent, reliable, and affordable? Gemini 3 Pro has basically drawn a new line in the sand, and how the world answers that question, that's probably going to define the next era of AI.